Today's topic is strategic default. I'm Steve Kramer of the Kramer Law Firm. I'm a Florida foreclosure defense attorney. Many clients come to me, they say, I'm way upside down in my house, but I can afford to make the payments. Should I default? So the scenario is, maybe you owe $200,000 in your house and it's worth $100,000. And what you've got to make a decision on is it more worthwhile to keep on paying all of this money, or is it more worthwhile to go ahead and default? And that's what a strategic default is. You're not defaulting because you're forced to default. You're defaulting because it's an option for you. You can afford to pay, but you don't want to pay all that money. This is a tough choice. There are some attorneys out there pushing people towards it, advertising for strategic default. I don't advocate that ever. This is an individual choice where you've got to evaluate the risks. And this is one where we should sit down and talk about your situation. The risk is, if you strategically default, maybe you get a short sale done and you don't owe any more money in the house, maybe. Or maybe you get some kind of other deal like a deed in lieu where you give back the deed to the bank. But you've got to be really careful because you don't want to wind up owing money. You got to read that fine print. This is one where you might be facing a foreclosure if you do this. So you've got to be ready. You've got to have an attorney standing by to defend that case. The other thing is your credit is going to take a hit. So even if you can afford to make these payments, you need to be prepared for your credit to get called in. You may have credit cards that get canceled. You may not be able to get loans. You may not be able to buy that new car. Your credit may take a pretty hard hit from a strategic default. And you've got to look at the situation from an individual perspective. You've got to weigh, is it worthwhile to pay this mortgage for the next 30 years, or am I better off going ahead and cutting it, calling it now, and doing a strategic default? Now, it can work out very well. I've represented a lot of people that got out of their houses without owing any money, where it worked out beautifully. But you've got to know the risks. And this is not for people that are risk averse. Why am I telling you this? Because if you're thinking about a strategic default, this is a very serious decision. You need to talk with somebody. You really, really do. I have dealt with this issue a lot of times. I can answer your questions. Call me at the number below. I'd love to talk with you and discuss this. Also, if you're watching this video on Facebook or YouTube, click the like button. This way your friends and family can benefit from the information that I'm sharing with you. Again, call me to talk about your situation. I'm Steve Kramer, the Kramer Law Firm.